Welcome to NuttieBuddie Entertainment. The good.
That's okay. That's good. That's all right. That's okay. Okay, let's get our first good. Sarah, you want to tell us what your first good is?
I liked the introduction of Doctor Strange into this movie. Because I think this is only his second time showing up, right? Or the first time outside of his movie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I thought it was just a really fun way to do it, and it made sense that he would be involved with it, with keeping an eye on what Loki's up to, and just the scene in his house on Bleecker Street where it's just constantly shifting perspective and moving around, because that's just, he's not going to change his behavior for Thor. This is how he lives his life, is constantly doing little spells to do stuff. I thought that whole scene was fun. Loved the bit when we find out Loki's been falling for half an hour straight. Very funny. I think it didn't feel like a weird, shoehorned in appearance by him. It made sense with the movie and fit really well.
Yeah, I kind of like that. After that scene, I kind of hope that Doctor Strange and Loki have more interactions. That's really the only interaction we ever got between the two of them. Yeah. But I would love to see them interact more. But I agree. And what I loved about Doctor Strange showing up is that it keeps the universe connected. This is Doctor Strange. This is his job. Of course, he would show up, to protect Earth from Loki, right? So it just made sense that he did. So I was really happy that the MCU, the people at Marvel did that. Yeah. Brian, what's your first good?
My first good is gonna be Sakaar, the planet that they all met up on. I thought that was really cool, having all the different aliens, and then we get Jeff Goldblum there as the what was his title?
Grandmaster.
I knew it started with a G. I'm like, what is it again? But Jeff Goldblum just being Jeff Goldblum. But I love the scene when they were escaping the planet and they were in those crafts and stuff like that. I thought her, specifically Valkyrie's, was so cool that she could maneuver it with her hands. But those spacecrafts and that whole battle leading up to the anus was really cool scene. So what? That's what it's called.
Just yes, that's what it's called. So it's really a black hole or whatever. It's like a star that exploded or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I enjoyed the touch. Did not realize it previous times watching this, but Bruce Banner calls it an Einstein-Rosen bridge, which is what Jane is looking for, or identifies the Bifrost as in the very first movie. So they kind of linked everything together with that a little bit.
Oh, smart. I didn't even catch that before. So taught me something new. That's awesome. Let's see. A good I had was the Hulk. I like the Hulk in this movie and Bruce Banner and their sort of relationship. This was the most, I think, comedy we've gotten from the Hulk. So he's more comedic, obviously, and more like a 5-year-old kid rather than just an angry mess. The dynamic between him and Bruce, the fact that Bruce has been trapped for 2 years, and then when Bruce comes out, he had that little panic attack. And then he dressed like Tony, and then that was great as well. So I'm gonna give Bruce and the Hulk part of my good.
Yeah, he was also in my good as well, and I think this is the most we've actually had conversation from the Hulk. Him actually speaking, getting to know his personality more and how he's feeling because of everything that happened on Earth. Exactly where his head is and why he decided to laugh, because last we saw him, he was just leaving the planet, and he's speaking to not the Scarlet Witch,
Black Widow,
there it is. I want to call it Scarlett Johansson, but it's nope, that's the actor.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
I was gonna say, Hulk felt more like a fully developed, full-fleshed character and person in this movie, which I enjoyed too. And I liked that Chris Hemsworth had good chemistry both with knowing how to talk to Hulk and then knowing how to talk to the Bruce Banner side as well. I thought that was fun too.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping we got like a Planet Hulk vibe from this. Maybe we'll get like in like 10 years, like Son of Hulk or something like that. Who knows? Maybe he fathered a child while he was there and like comes finds him on Earth.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. The thing though that's a little, and we'll talk about this as we review the other movies. The disappointing thing about the Hulk is this was the last time we really seen him communicate with that personality, because then after that, next time we see him after Thanos
Yeah,
beats
there's
him up,
just
he
there's just like a
finds
jump from
yeah.
like him and then not wanting to come out because of Thanos, and then all of a sudden they're just like both meld together. So I don't know, maybe in She-Hulk we'll get a deeper look into that and why it happened or how it happened. So
Yeah, no, I think they'll touch on that, but yeah, it's just a little disappointing because it finally felt like they
Totally.
got that personality for that character, and then they kind of left it. Let's see, Sarah, you got another good?
I guess just piggybacking with Sakar, I feel like they did a great job creating the vibe. I like that there's like actual like costume work happening here. Like there's just so much to look at and take in. Again, love Jeff Goldblum's vibe. It's hilarious.
Yes.
I really like the scene where it's like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory where he's going through the tunnel. I thought that was a really fun nod to that movie. Or just the whole, even just like 80s action movie vibe of the whole thing. It all the location, like the location just creates such a mood for this movie that I love. Even down to just like, I don't know, I guess you would call it the prison. And I know we're not supposed to call them slaves apparently, but just like just like the pit where it's just like, oh, it's like the eternal circle or whatever. And there's just, there's etchings in the wall, there's corpses everywhere. I don't know, just there's so
Doug
much
thought
like
he could get out.
yeah. Another week, another Doug, but yeah, just the attention to detail is really nice in this movie, I think too.
Yeah, that place was super fun. The Grandmaster, and I can't remember who the assistant was for him, but even their dynamic was super fun when the Grandmaster, when he's like, oh, I always say that Scrapter 142 is the what? It starts with a B, and his assistant's like trash. And I was just like, that is one of the funniest parts, because then he's like, wait, no, it doesn't even start with a B.
Yeah.
You just wanted to call her trash. Yeah, no, that was great. So yeah, that whole planet and the characters in there are part of my good as well. Brian, you got another good?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it already, but Hella, I had her as well, is my good. I think she was a great character, and then I loved how they did, the only way to destroy her was to destroy Asgard as well. That was a really good plot point. I thought, that way, he had to give up his home, and that's the only way that they could really change as a society, is to leave that place and start anew. So I thought that was really good. And yeah, just her character in general, as we talked about before.
Yeah, that was again, that's why I had her in my grade. I just thought she was such a good villain. So her power is drawn from Asgard, right? So like that's so when she's in or close to Asgard, she becomes more powerful.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that worked, but it seemed like, when she got to the Asgard, like the core of her became stronger, and then the longer she was there, then the more power like build up. So as long as it's not existence, then she doesn't have any power, I guess. So
yeah, because I think I noticed like when she first appears, like her ensemble, there's like rips and tears, her skin's looking real bad, she's got like dark I don't know, not blotches or streaks or whatever, but when she gets to Asgard, it's like her suit repairs itself, her skin clears up, she looks like more alive and refreshed. So I think that was kind of their nod to like, oh yeah, she's leveling up once she's here.
Yeah, it's just so crazy how strong she was to begin with. I was just like, man, she just
Mhm.
grabbed that hammer and just like decimated it, and it was just like, wow. And then she was stronger when she got to Asgard and started to control it. Another one of my good is Heimdall. We got to experience that character a little bit more, which was kind of nice. Sort of not only his fighting, but sort of his leadership and his fortitude and some more of his powers. Like he was able to grab Thor from where he was, just so he could see through Heimdall's eyes, basically what was going on, to give him sort of like this report. I thought he was well used in this movie, and we didn't get a whole lot of him in any other movie, I think, to this level. So this was my favorite movie with him in it, as far as his his character. So anyway, I thought he was good as well.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's a little easier when he's not guarding a gate to like interact with them and do all that stuff. So yeah, no, he was very good in this.
Okay, any other good?
I had Loki in my good.
Okay.
He was very different than what we got from the other movies, just because it almost felt like we were getting that like levity or comic like relief from him in like Thor 1 and 2. But in this one, he was kind of sharing that. And I think especially when he was on screen with Thor, he was doing like a really good job of like improvising and like doing stuff and still being like that Loki that we know and that we get later in like the TV series. So I had him in my good.
Okay, nice. I had him in my great, but you got to have something in your good, I guess.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, Brian, do you have a reason why he isn't in your great instead of good, or is it just sharing?
He didn't shine as much as the other movies, I felt, because I think I had him in my great like the other two. Like I said, he was more sharing, like I think they took a lot off of what Loki gave to the other movies and put with more of the characters in this. So, he felt like more of a B-side character in it, but he had some really good moments, like when he's watching, Thor gets slammed by the Hulk, and he's just like, that's how it feels. It's like, exactly what he's talking about, and it's hilarious. So
yeah, no, that's a good point. So basically it's like in comparison to the other movies, like he was kind of the star in the other movies, sort of like he stood out, where in this movie it's sort of all blended together, for the other characters as well.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's not the only one who has to be witty anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. Correct. Any other good?
I appreciated that they still kept the thread with this one of like kind of like messed up family dynamics, in that like, they've got this sister they never knew about, and she's the black sheep of the family, and like literally plastered over their family's not so great past of death and destruction. I thought that was just nice to be like, the past two movies we've dealt with, the family drama and intrigue, and obviously the lies about like where Loki originated from, and they still kept that going of like, yeah, obviously they're a family that cares about each other, but there's a lot of not so great stuff happening here. So I did like that they kept that going.
Yeah, that's a good point. Odin hiding Hela when she pulled down the ceiling, and then you could see like the real history of how Asgard took control. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that. Scourge, I'm gonna just give him a good shout out.
Okay.
Yeah. Just his sort of character arc. It was a quick one, but it was a good one. I felt like his guns, what were they called? D and Stroy. And when you put it together, it's
Des and Troy.
Troy, that's it. Des and Troy destroy. Yeah, putting them together, and sort of how he just really just wanted to be recognized, be a somebody, and then at the end he chose to be a good somebody with his weapons and went after Hela, and unfortunately got it. So I'm gonna give him a good as well. Any other good?
That's it for me, dog.
Okay, well then let's move on to the bad.
Thanks so much for listening to Brian, Sarah, and I do the great, the good, the bad, and the ugly for Thor Ragnarok. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this clip. If you'd like to listen to the rest of the podcast, click on one of the links below or search where you listen to podcasts in your podcast feed. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let us know in the comments below what is your great, good, bad, and ugly of Thor Ragnarok. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll talk to you guys soon.